Hello and welcome to Delta Sparks Pod, episode 23. As always, I am Evan. This is Andy, aka Dewey Pop Pop, aka Shooter McGavin.
No! Somebody gave me some feedback that they did not like that nickname for me.
Shooter McGavin? Who was it?
I cannot betray their trust.
Sorry, Mom.
It's not Mom. Mom probably was super into it.
Has your mom seen Happy Gilmore?
I don't know.
If
that
you
can't
said
be
Mom,
the only thing he's in.
if you said, hey Mom, have you ever seen Happy Gilmore? And she just went, it's all in the hips. How would you react?
I'd be like, excellent.
Damn crocodile stole my hand. Andy, it feels like forever since we've recorded.
I know, it really has. It's been about a week. Almost a week since we were actually recording.
A long week since you looked at me. I rolled your eyes and I don't know the rest of the.
Well, that's normally how it goes when we talk. So.
Chicken the Chinese chicken. That's all I remember from that song. So catchy.
Canadian.
They're Canadian?
I don't they're in Toronto. Wow, you have room for one Canadian that you like? Adam?
I wouldn't. Yeah, I'm saying Adam. He talks a lot less. It makes the conversation a lot more fun.
Oh. He sure does.
Adams, I feel like the stereotypical Canadian is like, someone just crashed through the living room with their car. And he's like, it's okay, bud.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, our house got in the way.
Funny enough, this past Saturday, I had a not native, but a Toronto resident hanging out at my house.
Oh, yeah, Em's friend, wasn't it?
Yeah, her she's not old. I think they're the same age, but old friend. Long time friend. Long time.
Yeah, I think she said like elementary school friend, right?
Yes.
Wow.
And it was funny because she kept saying university, and I was like, you fucking Canadians.
I respect that.
It was good. I'd never met her before. She was really nice. Em was so happy to see her. So Em was like, yeah, we'll come up and see you. And then I looked at her and she's like, yeah, I'll come up and see you. Because I was like,
she's coming up. She better come see me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I have plans for her to smuggle back. You're welcome.
Are they edible?
Well.
Pretty sure you can mail a plant, Andy.
I don't know if you can. Maybe. I'll try it.
I don't know.
It's when she's been looking for.
A furry bush?
So, wait. No, that's what you're looking for. So
it's not 1976 anymore.
So you said she came up, but I remember you telling me last week that you had lost hot water. Oh
yeah. So fun story for anyone who has a hot water heater boiler combo. I have an oil-fed hot water thing. When you hit the emergency switch at the top of the stairs, even for a second, you have to call for heat for it to register. Really? Didn't realize that. I don't know if me or Em hit the switch.
What do you mean call for heat?
So, you have on like any type of, furnace or boiler that's oil, gas, propane, you have an emergency switch, power. Kills power to the unit.
Like, is that usually like the switch you find in the basement that says furnace do not turn off, like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But if it's a certain distance away or it's downstairs from your main living area, there has to be one at the top of the stairs. So there's one at the top of the stairs.
Okay.
There's one at the
I don't think that's the case here, but continue.
Probably not. One of us, I guess, hit it off accidentally and turned it back on, not thinking.
Yeah.
And the next day, Em went to take a shower. And there was no hot water. She's like, there's no hot water. And I'm like, fuck my life. Because I'm already dealing with the AC in the wall situation.
Right. Because it was all rotted. One story at a time. Please continue.
So I go down. I got my handy dandy client tester. And I'm like, power.
There's definitely power here.
My tongue tastes like nickels.
It takes me back to the days of licking batteries.
Oh man, do you have any cavity fillings?
Probably, yes.
You ever,
in my teeth? Yeah.
Have you ever put tinfoil in your mouth?
No, that even just thinking about that gives me shivers down my spine, putting tinfoil around my teeth. I do not enjoy that.
It makes my whole mouth tingle.
Yeah, no, me too, but not in a good way. Why are you putting tinfoil in your mouth?
It was years ago. It's a long story. Okay, so long story short, I looked up because my low water cutoff, my low water switch, right, had both the power and the low water light on. And I'm like, low water. So I looked down at the gauge. I have no heat. I have no hot water. It's not reading any hot water. And the way my system works is it not only heats the water, the potable water for like showers and the sink, but it also heats the hot water for the baseboard. So it heats that hot water up to 180 degrees Fahrenheit. And then that hot water runs past the coil and heats up the water going through the coil, which is my potable water. So if I have no heat in the system, I have no hot water anywhere.
You got nothing. So okay, so how does your system work? Do you have a tank that holds hot water usually, or does it?
Instant. It's an instant hot. It's almost like an instant hot water. It's a tank. It's called a tankless system.
Tankless, yeah. Okay.
So I'm looking up online like how to troubleshoot or yada 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 the low water cutoff, and this video first 15 seconds it was like, first thing you should do is call for heat. Go to your thermostat, turn the heat all the way up, and make sure it's on, and see what happens.
Yeah. And
I did that, and fucking thing kicked on. Great success.
Thank goodness. So okay, so when you said call for heat, I didn't know if that meant you had to like call.
Yeah, hi. Can you guys bring some heat? My balls are cold.
Mr. Furnace.
Hi, is this the sun? I hear you're really hot.
So hot these days.
So yeah, call for heat.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a shit show.
Yeah, you've had a lot of stuff going on.
2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 weeks, 2.5.
3 weeks.
I guess 3 weeks. I guess 3 weeks at this point because 2 Thursdays ago. So like I had said, last episode with Brian.
Which was amazing.
Yes, it was so
Thanks,
great.
Brian.
Brian Baumler.
Yep, crushed it.
But I keep fucking it up.
No, you did good.
I keep saying Brian Balmer.
No, it's not that.
Baumler. So like I said last episode, I got laid off 2 weeks ago yesterday, and that's an always fun way to get cracking in life. Start
your holidays too, right?
Yeah,
so that was right going into May
4th of July.
4th of July. Yes. Yeah.
And
that sucks.
Nothing better than coming home early from work, say like 9:30 in the morning on your wife's birthday, and she goes, "Why are you home?"
So did they for your birthday, honey? Also,
happy birthday.
Did they send you home right away, or did you have the option to work the day and then leave? Like when I got laid off, I had the option to work the day, or they're like, if you don't want to, you can leave now. But I was. They said
they would pay me the rest of the day and the next day, Thursday and Friday. Nice. So I was like, I think I'm gonna fucking sit here. And it's like, let me go grab my tools.
I left a little bit early, but I didn't. I stayed for most of it, but I was real grump about it. But like, I was also told that I'd be not expected, but that they'd have a spot for me when work picked back up, which I don't know if that's just what they say. But they ended up. Then I got my invitation to school, and then they did call me when I was like a week and a half out from returning to school, but I had taken the other.
I don't know. Maybe they didn't run out of work. Maybe they just finally listened to the podcast. I've been complaining about that for a minute. Everyone's high all the time. They don't take COVID seriously. They got me working crazy hours. I don't know. You know what? Yeah. It is what it is. It happens. That's just what happens in the trades. If you don't own your own company, you get laid off from time to time, union or non-union. Job stop, work doesn't keep up. And I'm super lucky and super grateful talking about Em again. Me and her have been talking about me going and doing this course to get certified as a home inspector. And, everyone talks about plans, you know what I mean? It's what's that say? The saying, man makes plans, God laughs, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and I looked into the courses before, and they cost a bunch of money, and they were like from 7 a.m. till like 7 p.m. every Sunday, plus 2 nights a week. And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not the time. I'm too busy.
Yeah.
There's stuff going on. Yeah.
I'm just
well, and the last thing you want to do is sit on a computer and talk to me. But like for like 12 hours a day on a Sunday, I think that would be a bit much.
Plus 2 nights a week for 3 hours.
And like after working a full day, that's not what you want to be doing.
And just taking up like my 1 of 2 days off a week. So
yeah,
I digress. Long story short, I found a school that does it online, that does a 5-week course, 4 days a week.
Full time, pretty much. Like
pretty much, yeah. Like Monday through Thursday. It's like 7:30 to like, they say 2:30, but we usually end at like 12 to 1, somewhere around there.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's like how the material's received and whatnot, right? Like, I would assume. And you said it's online?
It's online. It's not Zoom, but it's like Zoom-esque. You know, so there's a guy, we could see him, he's teaching, he's got, you know, the screen shared, he's going through slides, and he's explaining things, and we have a chat that we're able to like ask questions or answer questions or this, that, and the other thing.
Is it Teams?
No, it's not Teams. It's something weird. I don't even know. But I did all 4 days last week. We didn't have school this week because of the 4th. Thank God, because, you know, lost fucking power Tuesday and internet.
Wait, so you don't have school all week because of the holiday?
I guess the guy who runs the school like wanted to take off and go on vacation, and he's technically like present every day of school, like, you know, checking in to make sure people are there, you know, pops in and out of. So I guess he wanted to take off, and I was like, I guess it is what it is, you know, like.
Yeah.
Again, everything happens for a reason.
What are you going to say, right? Yeah.
I got laid off, and then the class I found, and then we have the week off, and I was bitching and moaning about that, because I'm like, now my 5-week course just turned into 6 weeks of being out of work, technically. And then we have a storm that rolled through Tuesday afternoon and knocked power out to the whole area for like 2-3 days. So
yeah, I saw you went and bought a generator.
I did.
That's exciting.
More things to just buy to make me feel like I'm an adult, and I'm always going to be in debt. It's pretty much my
life. Like what?
To feel like I'm an adult, and I said more things to buy that I feel like I'm an adult, and I'm always going to be in debt.
Yeah, I know those feels.
But got the generator, luckily, because you know how it is. Like, huge snowstorm, I'm going and looking for a snowblower, not a snowblower to be found.
Right.
And I feel like there was another situation.
When you need it, everybody needs it, right?
Same thing with the air conditioner. When the air conditioner shit the bed, it was during a heat wave. Go and look for an air conditioner, can't find any.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my luck, generator's the same thing. But I found one, and
yeah, you said it was like one of the last ones or something?
Yeah, it was one of the last ones. It's cool because it runs off of both gasoline or propane.
Nice.
It's set up that way. So
give you the option.
You know, like when we had Hurricane Sandy down here a number of years ago, you couldn't find gas anywhere.
Was that in the Middle East of America?
Yes, the Middle East of New Jersey. Everyone was without power for like, I mean, almost the whole state for like a week or two. Yeah. So gas was, you couldn't find gas anywhere. So having the option to do propane, I could just go to Home Depot, say, give me all your fucking propane. Mm-hmm. And then there you go. How you do? So, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. How did your test go? For those of you who do not remember, Andie finally took her test to get her Girl Scout badge.
Yeah. Yeah, I sewed something to get my Girl Scout badge.
When do you hear back from that, about that?
So we were told it's 10 to 15 business days before we hear back. So I may not hear for 3 weeks, which is really frustrating. But yeah, I'm trying to be positive about it. And like, it was a really, really hard test. Like, I wasn't feeling great physically or mentally going into it. So that kind of wasn't great.
Yeah.
But I did my best. I showed up, I studied, and hopefully at least it'll translate. I had lots of good luck wishes beforehand, which was really lovely. Thank you, everyone.
Did I wish you good luck? I don't remember.
You did not, but that's okay. You messaged me.
I think I did. Fuck you.
Not in the morning. I don't think you did. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
I think I did.
We had been talking about it.
A, I did. B, go fuck yourself. C, I did.
Well, I just thank you with everybody else then.
Okay. Yeah. But speaking of just like having to wait, you know, I mean, the last 2.5, 3 weeks for me, I mean, I don't do well with change. I don't.
No,
me neither. Very routine person. You know, I like getting up at the same time every day. Not that I like getting up at 4 a.m., but if it's consistent, you know, it's like
you get into the rhythm, you get into the pattern.
Yes,
yeah.
I do well with a routine. When I don't have a routine, I feel very just
out of sorts. That's
like I'm spilling out and I don't know what to do. And I wish I could say like my personality was like, let's find stuff to do. But no, I just sit on the couch and do nothing.
Yeah.
I'm a real fucking sloth like that.
Yeah. Netflix is pretty deadly when it comes to that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Netflix
it's for hours.
Yeah. Netflix, you can sit there for hours, except when you lose power and internet.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
So I read a book.
Whoa!
For like the first time.
Was it a picture book, Ab?
Fuck you.
See, run.
I had a few pictures.
What was the book?
I don't remember the name of it, but
must have been good.
It was basically about like they took Alcatraz, you know, the island with the prison, and revamped it to Alcatraz 2.0, where they sent convicted murderers there, and like they got tortured and maimed and murdered and stuff. But it was all like it was like all viewed like on Twitter and stuff, and people like reacting. It was really interesting. It was basically like if the Hunger Games and that OnlyFans. It was really cool.
That's a neat concept. Very scary.
But you know,
something like that could actually happen. But
I hope so. But you know, I'm sitting here and I have nothing to do. So and then the power goes out, and I'm like, well, fuck. You know, make the best of a bad situation, and that's kind of just how I've been trying to operate the last 3 weeks.
Well, I'm proud of you for that.
It's tough feeling like you have no control over things. I mean, you know.
But you know what? That is a lot of the times when you find you have your most personal growth is when you don't have control. You feel you're spiraling. You don't know where to go. That's where you get your personal growth.
Personal growth is overrated. I've grown enough.
You look taller.
Fuck. I'm sitting down in the same.
And you look way taller. Did you like put a pillow under your seat or something?
Just sitting on my balls.
Huge balls.
Huge. Tiny penis, huge balls.
It's so weird.
Everyone always asks me, like, man, when they see me in the speedo, wow, you really got a big dick. I'm like, nope, all balls.
Nope, you are incorrect.
You are incorrect, sir. But I mean, you're in a similar situation. You took your test and now you have to wait 3 weeks to get the results. I mean, how do you deal with not having control or lack of control?
Well, for that, at this point, there's not really anything I can do. So the lack of control almost makes it easier. I can kind of just let it go until I have confirmation one way or the other. So I'm kind of still just going to work every day, doing my thing. Like it'll affect me once I get my answers. Like once I figure out, I don't actually get to see the answers, but once I find out if I passed or failed, then I achieve my journeyman status. I get my raise, hopefully at work. We haven't actually talked about that, but I'm pretty sure I do get a raise.
If you're listening.
But so at this point, it doesn't really change anything I can do. As well, I've also been in a new sector. I've been in the automation sector since January. So I'm still very much learning the ropes for this. Like, I don't think having this different credential, it changes things like on my resume, but in my day-to-day work, I don't think it'll change too much.
Right.
Like I'm still learning from a lot of people around me I thank God for them, because I would be very lost, which is a really fun feeling.
Yeah. I don't know anyone who actually granted, there's nothing you can do, But like for me, like there's always like, I know when Em took her test for her LCSW, right, to become a licensed clinical social worker, there was a waiting period between her taking the test and her getting the results, and she was like super anxious and nervous about it.
Right. Yeah, of course.
And I don't know, like I'm kind of in that place, but I'm also kind of not right now. Like this is where it's different. Like you said, personal growth, which I hate fucking personal growth, but
tough titties, my friend.
If you're living in your comfort zone, you're not growing.
Yeah, that's right.
Some cliche yoga fucking sign. Namaste. Nama don't.
Namaste on the couch.
But I got laid off and I came home and I'm like, I'm just going to go find another job. And granted, like, don't get me wrong, I really love what I do most days.
Yeah.
I really don't like the people I work with most days. And I don't typically don't like the people I work for. I mean, I don't think you're supposed to like your boss.
Oh, I like my boss.
Well,
I like my boss a lot.
You're fucking Canadian. I'm talking about like real people with like genuine emotions.
I'm not a unicorn.
You're like the fucking Keebler elves. You're just like pour some syrup on them.
Well, you're not wrong.
I remember what I was saying, but yeah.
Sorry about how you don't really enjoy working with the people that you work with.
I mean, it's just like I work with in the trades, you deal with a lot of personalities and you got a lot of, negativity a lot of the time. Cause it's like, oh fuck, I gotta do this. Oh fuck, I gotta do that. I went on an interview just earlier today and it was nice to talk to someone who's like, I'm looking for someone passionate about what they do, and I'm like,
definitely you.
I'm passionate with a capital P. But I reverted right back to the standard. I'm just going to go and find another job. I'll have another job in like a day or two.
Yeah.
And then Em was like, why don't you go and do the schooling? Take this time. And that's really scary for me.
Yeah.
I haven't been in school since 2007.
I was just going to say, like, you are a self-professed, not really a school person, right? Mm-mm. That in itself has got to be really scary for you.
I don't know how I made it out of high school. They literally pushed me. They were like,
please don't come back. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say also, like we were talking with Brian about going back to school, I think that maturity helps you. And you now know what you're passionate about. You know that this is something that's going to help your career. It's going to help your life. It's stuff that you're interested in, how stuff works, how it's supposed to work, what are some problems that you might be running into. I find that kind of thing can also help you to be a little bit more dedicated to schooling and
when you're paying for
your personal growth. Yeah. And when you pay for it,
you gotta fucking pay attention.
You you better get every penny out of it, right?
So the way this schooling works, it's every 2 days is a new subject.
Okay.
So my first 2 days was AC and heat pumps.
Right.
Okay. And I was like, oh yeah, I understand most of this. And I was just kind of like looking at my phone while I was doing the thing. And Day 2, they did a practice test.
Like a quiz, yeah.
And the guy would read the question and everyone would put, it's like multiple choice between A, B, C, D, sometimes E. Yeah. And people would put in the chat what they thought.
Yeah.
I did not do well. And I was so fucking distraught. So distraught.
But you know what? The wake-up call during a practice test is what they're there for.
Right, exactly. So I know what I need to go back and study. So the next 2 days was plumbing. Mm-hmm. And when it came time to do the practice test on day 2 of plumbing, I was much more prepared and I did much better because I paid attention more. But I also don't pay attention well. Em keeps saying I have ADHD.
Well,
I keep saying, fuck you, you're a therapist.
You absolutely do, first of all. But also,
fuck you too.
Having tradespeople sit and listen traditionally doesn't work very well. Like, we are hands-on people.
Definitely.
So I'm curious. I know you're passionate about the podcast and sometimes you'll take notes. Do you take notes during school?
I actually was.
Good for you.
And then I realized that I could just screenshot.
No, stop
the computer
that.
screen.
take notes. Trust me.
I know, because when you take
tip.
it from your brain, you put it in your hands and you write it down, you're thinking about it, it locks it away in some secret Pandora's box deep inside your butthole, and one day you'll be able to reach up and grab it.
Yeah, just keep your fingers in and around your butthole.
Lubed and ready to go. You know what sucks about doing a home inspection course?
What?
You start to realize how shitty your house is. How much the guy who inspected your house fucking failed.
Did you have a home inspection?
Yeah, you kind of have to here.
So right now, the market in like Ontario, I don't know if it's Ontario or kind of just our area, the houses are so stinking expensive right now that to get an edge, people are dropping out their inspection.
That's fucking nuts.
Isn't it crazy? So it
went from a buyer's market. Yeah.
People are dropping their condition of financing and their condition of home inspection just to get like a leg up on buying houses like in
that's
my area.
Kind of how it was here. So we were living in a tiny cottage, 700 square feet when COVID hit.
Yeah.
And I want to say April, and was like, we should buy a house. And I was like, okay, sure. And then the next day, her friend Juliet, who's a real estate broker, reached out to her and was like, hey, I know that. And also Juliet sold Em her first house with her ex that they never moved into. It all fell apart right then and there. But she helped Em buy that house and sell that house. And so the next day, Em got like a fucking text from Juliet. Hey, I know this is totally out of the blue, but there's this really cute house in this town near you. Would you want to go look at it? And Em's like, hey, get dressed. And I'm like, why?
Em's like, start the car.
She's like, we're going to look at a house. I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? She goes, remember yesterday when I said we should buy a house? And I was like, yeah. And we put an offer in on a house, not that house, but another house. And then they used that offer over the weekend to leverage it into more offers, even though we were under an attorney review.
Yeah.
And the condition was they weren't supposed to show their house while we were in attorney review. So when we found this house, before we even saw it, we put an offer in on it and sent a letter explaining, who we are, which was a suggestion by our real estate person.
Yeah.
And luckily we got it at a steal.
Yeah.
Finding out not so much of a steal.
Yeah, lots of hidden stuff. Well, there was a guy at my work yesterday who was he showed up late for work because he had a shower in the morning, and then he was getting dressed and he walked downstairs into his front hall, and his upstairs shower was in his front hall. There was a pipe that was leaking and had been a slow leak over time, and all the drywall had fallen into his front hall, and he looked up and you could see black mold, but they had waived their condition of home inspection. Not that any home inspection would have found that.
Well, not true. If you're using one of those moisture, visual gun things.
He said that there had been a little bit of bubbling, like they knew there was something going on there, but they didn't know what. But the housing market here is so crazy that people are just waiving that, and they're like, we'll deal with that when we have to deal with that.
Yeah. Well, you know what Em said to me? She comes up to me like a week or two ago. She's like, we could sell this house and make like $150,000.
But then you have to buy a new house.
That's what I said.
Yeah. Like, honest to God, that's what Adam and I have been saying. Our house has it's close, maybe not quite, but it's close to doubled what we paid for it.
Yeah.
In 5 years. But then we have to look for another.
And then you got
another house.
Unless like we moved to like fucking the middle of Bumpkin.
Which I'm tempted some days. Let me tell you.
Oh my God. Fucking neighbors.
Yeah.
But yeah. So dealing with stressful shit, dealing with things beyond your control, it is definitely hard. But I will say, what has been helping me through is definitely having Em, having my family, having like you and my other friends to be able to like reach out to and like check in with. I won't lie, like, especially when we lost power and it was just like one thing after the other, after the other, after the other. There was a couple of days there where I was just like, I quit. I fucking quit. I probably said it in the group text between you, me, and Kim a few times. Like, I fucking quit.
Yeah, I'm out.
I'm done. Like, I just fucking end it all. But there's always a next day. The sun will always rise. Any
The
other
sun will come out tomorrow.
Any other cliche sayings? Yeah. Okay. Annie. Fun bit of housekeeping. We hopefully will be recording this week, next week, one of these weeks. Next week. We're waiting to hear back
this
from
week
them.
Coming up once this is actually out. Yes.
With the
or do we wait? Do we want to make it a surprise or no?
I think we already said it.
Did we? All right. As you were.
The gentleman from TradeMut, for those of you who do not know about TradeMut, like I always said, if you've been living under a rock, we're going to have a really interesting talk with them, kind of figure out, kind of hear a little bit more about their story, where they came from, where their mission state came from, who designs their fun patterns.
Huge fans of these guys.
How many speedos they're willing to send me.
I think you have enough.
You know, TradeMut actually commented on the video I put up of me putting on me and their speedo, and they were like, "Blah," and I'm like, "You can't say blah. You fucking made it."
Oh god.
That's like a cake maker going, "Ew, cake."
I actually do have a couple friends who are like bakers, and they're like, I don't really like. I find baking relaxing, but I don't really eat the stuff. And I'm like, how? How do you do that?
Every once in a while, I'll make like a loaf of bread. Good luck getting it to cool off before it's completely gone.
Right?
I'll just sit there with a loaf of bread and a fucking tub of butter, and I'll just rip pieces off and dunk it in the butter. Sometimes spread a little salt on there.
We had a bread maker, and I was like, this is a bad thing. Like, we need to not have this. Like, if I learn how to do this, it's the end of me fitting into any pair of pants I own.
Yep. Basically just spandex all day, every day.
Spandex City. Yeah. That's all it is.
It lifts and tightens.
Yeah, that's what
Speaking of spandex, how about a little just a tip from you, Andy?
Yeah, that's a good one. How about you go first?
Okay, here's a good one. All right.
All right.
Before doing any home renovation project that you have no fucking clue about what you're doing, do two things. A, if you know anybody, reach out to them. Say, hey, this, that, and the other thing. B, fucking Google it. Because I didn't know that like an in-the-wall AC unit or like a window AC unit, that there's 4 screws that you can take out and pull the entire guts out of the AC unit. And that's how you screw the fucking housing of the AC unit to the framing.
That's wild to me.
3 hours later, trying to get the old one out of the wall with a Sawzall and a sledgehammer. And I'm like, why did they screw this thing into the wood? How did they even do that? Yeah. Well, apparently that's how they did
it. All right. I got mine. So for those of you who may have physical tests coming up in the near future or not so near future, test taking tips. So what I would say is,
when you say physical, do you mean like cough?
Yeah, when you're going for a physical, I need you to follow all these instructions.
Shame.
No, but I'm saying, like, because I was taking questions or taking exams when I was at school. And what I was going to say is that read through your whole test first. Look through all the questions, the ones that you're going to have to spend a little bit more time on, and then go back and go through your questions again like that. So when I was taking school back in 2000, what year is it? 2020. So when I was in my 3rd term of school, we had exams that if you flip to the next page, like on Zoom, you couldn't go back. So don't flip through all the questions if you are not able to go back. Just make sure you know what you're dealing with on those. But so I was going to say is go through your questions, know your questions, take practice questions. I know that really helped me, like, kind of studying in the method of the test that I would be taking rather than like somebody quizzing me. I actually had to sit down there. We were talking about like putting the pencil in my hand and going through and filling out A, B, C because it's all multiple choice. So practice in the style that you're testing and read all your questions carefully and make sure you actually answer all your questions. Don't leave any blanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Quickie?
Yes, please.
You go first.
Okay. Evan, if you won the lottery, what would you do with the money?
How much money?
Okay, so it's different for you guys. You get heavily taxed on it, right?
Yeah, but how much money?
I don't know, 50 mil. Does it really matter? Well, I guess if you win like $100. Okay, if you won like a big lottery, like 50 mil.
50 mil. I'd buy 3 McDonald's franchises in heavily populated areas. I'd sell this house. I'd buy a house deep in the woods, and I'd probably smoke weed all day.
And a generator for your house in the woods. Yeah. I would buy a new truck, pay off the mortgage here, and maybe look for a second house, and probably pay off my parents' mortgage, maybe my in-laws' mortgage. I don't know.
I would have done all that stuff too. I would have done all that stuff too.
Zero concept of how far 50 mil would take me, because I can't even conceptualize that much money.
You would never have to work again a day in your life. Easily.
I think I still would work. Would you? I think I would be very selective about when I worked, but I think I would still work. Like, I'd probably flip houses and like do it at my leisure.
Yeah, I'd do something like that.
So I could like still actually like be doing something, because I think
I'd find a homeless person and I would clean them up and buy them an apartment, and then make sure that they know that I owned them for the rest of their life.
I knew it was going to a dark place. I knew it.
Okay.
All right, your question.
Why don't you ever see an elephant in a tree?
Because they're too fat.
Because they're really good at hiding.
Okay.
Question 2. Go ahead.
Okay. If you could choose, who would be your celebrity best friend?
That's a good one. There's so many names just running through my head right now.
What was the first name that popped into your head?
Ryan Reynolds.
Really? Mine was Nick Offerman.
Oh, that is a good one.
Yeah. I think he'd be really cool to hang out with.
Yeah. I feel like I'm such a prick that me and Ryan Reynolds would get along really well.
I think you'd be like enemies. Like, I think you'd get along, or you would hate each other. Like, there's no in between.
I feel like we would just sit and judge people to each other like all day.
Oh my gosh. To be a fly on the wall that you couldn't see, so you couldn't actually judge me to my face.
Exactly. Okay.
All right.
What's an elephant's favorite tree to climb?
What?
A cherry tree.
Why?
They just paint their balls red and they blend right in.
Where are you getting these elephant-themed jokes from?
All right, question 3.
Okay, if you had a pet parrot, what's the first thing you would teach it to say?
Cunt. Didn't even have to think.
I expected that. Fuck you.
Somebody walks in the house. Cunt.
Oh, my word.
No, I think what you meant was dumb cunt.
We've been trying to teach him. He just
the D's are really hard. What about you?
I don't know. This is the one I didn't prepare for.
Your parent would probably say something like, Adam, no.
Yeah, I'd probably teach it to like call Adam's name.
Adam.
Or something. Adam. And he'll be like, what?
Adam. Adam. Adam.
Classic.
Okay. Question 3. What is the loudest sound in the jungle?
Elephant.
Nope. A giraffe eating it out of a cherry tree. I told you it all came together.
You sure did.
For those of you who didn't get that immediately, the elephant's in a cherry tree with its balls painted red. The giraffe is eating out of the cherry tree. The giraffe bites down on one of the cherries, aka a big old testicle of an elephant. And if you didn't get it, I don't know, go to a hardware store, find a tack hammer, and just smack your head right into it.
If you didn't get it, DM Evan immediately.
No, don't. Just unsubscribe to this podcast.
No, we need all the followers we can get.
We really don't need you.
No, we do. Please don't leave us.
Oh my God. Can I show the thing that you sent me?
Yeah.
And now, did the person that originally thought of this make them?
No. So he told me he was making them, and I was like, that's a great idea. Simul though.
Okay. Well, I'm going to put this on my car right after we're done.
Yay.
For those of you who can see, we got. Ooh, I know it's a little.
That is. It's super. No, you can't see it. Oh, lean the bottom there. Yes, right there. There you go. So that says Instagram Delta Sparks Pod.
If you'd be interested in one of these, shoot us a DM. We'll figure out how to make more.
Yeah.
Or Andy will.
Yeah.
Andy will figure out how to make them. So that's all it. That's all there is from me and Shooter McGavin here for today's delightful episode of Delta Sparks Pod and things not to do. Stay tuned. More to come.
Please do.
And as always, be yourself. Be yourself. Make sure the cherry's not a testicle.
That's good life advice.
Can't.
Be yourself.